overall, it's a strong market for HDD, especially on the medium and small end right now, and as the oil and gas market comes back, the large end will too, though many of the larger contractors are finding electric transmission work, water work, things of that nature. They're diversified enough to where they're really not seeing a slowdown in their work. Matter of fact, I know of a couple of contractors that are booked through most of 2016 now, and about half of it's oil and gas, but about half of it's other market. Telecom market is booming. Telecom market is one of those we were talking earlier about. Lack of labor, and that's one of those markets it's definitely served as an inhibitor. There's so much more telecom that people, the fiber in particular, that companies want to do, that they want to build, that the market is demanding. It used to be groups were advocating 100 megabyte download as the standard. Well, now that's 1 gigabyte is what we need the download to be as a standard. So overbuilds and new construction is growing. So the telecom market is busy now, and it looks like it's going to be busy for a long time to come. Well, certainly one of the things that's been on everybody's mind for the last few years has been the shale market, the shale oil and gas production market, which in turn has driven the pipeline market. For this year, prices are a little low. The break-even point in shale drilling comes down every year, but still prices need to be in that mid-50s up to 60 range for companies to really make good money to encourage drilling. We think we'll see that, but it may take a year or two to get there. The electric grid right now for distribution lines is being built out at a rapid pace, and that looks like that's going to go on for another 4 or 5 years. Big market, big growth, and it all came about from the blackouts and the brownouts we had several years ago, and it's all just coming to fruition now. Then there's the water market we mentioned earlier. That market, it's a pressure pipe, so it works. It's not heavily pressured, but it's 20 psi. But it works well with HDD for the water transmission lines, and that industry is slowly but surely coming around to the HDD market. There are new markets that we're going to be able to get into, such as electric transmission. The electric industry, the transmission side of it, is a unique industry, has a lot of requirements, very expensive, and so it's much harder to put it underground. Many factors, thermal barriers, thermal areas, all these kind of things that go into it. But that said, it's getting closer to being cost effective to do it. We're getting closer every year. We're a few years away from that, but we're getting closer every year. And when that market comes online as a viable undergrounding option, that's just one more huge market coming online. Sewer is still kind of the holy grail. If it's pressurized pipe, we're seeing quite a lot of that work done. But for gravity, where you need to be on line and grade, someday we'll get there. We're just not quite there yet, but it will come. It too will come. So the overall HDD market, shale drilling, as we mentioned, that odds are that'll be back strong in a couple of years. Existing markets, as we discussed, are already huge and growing. If we can just solve a few problems like labor issues and a few things like that, the future of HDD is very bright for the next, I really don't see a slowdown for some time in this market.